are so happy you're all joining us today. You're listening to the Jumper Cable Records podcast. I'm Kiara Davies. If you're tuning in on YouTube, our most valuable cameraman is behind the camera today, my husband, Dallin Davies. But y'all, we cannot wait for you to listen to this episode. We are hanging out in Nashville with pop and R&B singer Chan. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to have you on tonight. Thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank y'all so much for having me.
She hails from Memphis, Tennessee, but has been in Nashville for 6 years.
6 years. So wild.
She's taking Music City by storm. But we're so thrilled for this episode. We're excited to sit down with you. We have sort of interacted over the last couple months, but we have never seemed to have time to stop and talk.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited for everybody to get to know you.
Yes, can't wait.
Let's start with a few questions to warm us up, some silly questions.
I love a silly question.
You're down for
always.
That. All right. I wanted to start off our rapid fire questions with kind of like a rapid fire round of which do you prefers?
Ooh.
Yeah?
Okay.
Down?
I'm down.
All
absolutely.
Right. This is kind of silly. All right. Real quickly, apple or pumpkin?
Apple.
Oh, Skittles or M&Ms?
M&Ms.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Okay. I'm taking inventory. We can be friends. Okay. Red Vines or Twizzlers?
Neither. I'm not a fan, but I guess I would go to more Twizzler.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Not a licorice fan. Is it in general?
It's just not my first choice. When I'm going down the candy aisle, I'm not licorice.
So we're actually recording this episode before Halloween, so it kind of feels festive to me.
Yeah.
The Halloween candy. What do you normally go for?
Normally I'll go for chocolate things. So for example, if I'm getting a bag of candies, assorted candies for friends, I'm let me get something that has a Snicker, a Twix, a Sour Patch Kid.
Yes.
Get the variety, you know?
Yeah.
For whatever tickles your fancy.
Yeah. Sweet tooth stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, to continue, ice cream or frozen yogurt?
Oh my gosh. Frozen yogurt.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite place in Nashville?
Honestly, I really miss the frozen yogurt craze of the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Because there used to be a frozen yogurt place on every single corner.
It's true.
And there's no places now. So I'm kind of forced to eat ice cream. And look, I do enjoy a good ice cream. We have Jenny's here. We have, there's a place called Coco's. That's a vegan ice cream place. That's amazing.
That sounds
But
good.
it's still not yogurt.
Yeah, it's true. No, we were just talking about this the other day. They are kind of disappearing, which is sad.
Yes. In Memphis, 2009, I came home from summer camp and we had our first frozen yogurt place. And I remember my best friend was we have to go. You don't understand. They have a whole toppings bar.
Yes,
and we went crazy. Mountains of yogurt and toppings.
Yeah, you're 4 ounces of frozen yogurt, 16 ounces of topping.
Yes, and then they would make you pay based on how much it weighed.
Yeah.
And so we'd always be
it's not 2
looking
pounds.
at the scale oh my gosh, will my mom kill me for spending $10 on a frozen yogurt?
That makes me so nostalgic.
Yeah,
now I want frozen yogurt.
It really, that just took me back.
Yeah, really. All right, just a few more.
Yeah.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
Peppermint or spearmint?
Peppermint.
Yes. White chocolate or milk chocolate?
Milk chocolate, but I like dark chocolate best.
Oh, yeah. Me too. All right. That's enough of that.
There we go.
Well, aside from working on your own music, which we will get into all the music things in just a second, a little bit of what you do in Nashville is you're a vocal coach, a vocal teacher. If we could turn the tables, let's pretend you're a contestant on The Voice, but you could choose anyone in the industry to be your coach. I know. It's
that's
huge.
alive?
That's alive. Who would that be?
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully that sort of narrows it down.
Yes, no, that does. I feel if you'd said alive or dead, I literally would have been we would have been sitting here for the whole episode. I think I would go for Layla Hathaway or Jasmine Sullivan or love JoJo.
Yeah.
That's my fave.
Bring her out. Bring her out right now. That would be that would be a great team. If you guys collaborated.
When I was 6, would listen to only The High Road. That's what it taught me how to sing, basically. I would sit and memorize all the riffs.
Oh my gosh.
And then do them all. Honestly, any song from that album, it comes from the the deepest part of my subconscious, I like remember it all.
I think we can all resonate with that a little bit.
That's like one of the cool things about music too,
Exactly.
is that it reaches this deep part in your brain, and years after you hear a song, you're like, I know this.
It becomes muscle memory, like your heart muscle memory.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, last rapid fire. If you could choose only one of these two, I say only, that was silly. If you could choose one of these instruments to accompany your singing for the rest of your career, which would you choose, trumpet or accordion?
This is a hard question. I feel like I'm going with accordion. I love a trumpet, but like there's this guy outside of the Whole Foods, one of the Whole Foods in Nashville, okay?
I'm excited. Okay.
This man will play some pop accordion. And it's kind of like, it really messes with your head when you're going to the grocery store hungry and you're disoriented. And then you just hear this dung, 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 like an accordion version of like, I don't know, like Call Me By Your Name. Like,
oh my gosh.
And you're like, is this real life? Like, but you know,
it works
between the two. I think it'd be fun.
Really. I think so. I think it has more of a range.
Yes, you can hear some chords in there.
Yeah. So a minute ago, I brought up that you are originally from Memphis.
Yeah.
Most of our Nashville guests have moved here from different states, but you're a true Tennessean.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. What made you make the move from Memphis to Middle Tennessee?
Yeah, for sure. Well, growing up, I did a lot of traveling throughout Tennessee. I did pageants at one point. So I was Miss Tennessee's Outstanding Teen. So I explored everything, went everywhere, spent a lot of time in Nashville. Yeah, it was a wild time. It was like a very short period of time.
Okay.
Like, did my first one in 1 year, and then like did in the same year, got that, and then never did it again. But it was really cool because I got to travel and sing, but like a lot of the things you would do would be in Nashville, and I always loved it here. Worked with some vocal coaches here, did some recording here when I was in high school. And then when it came time to choose where I wanted to go to school, I was between here and Boston, either Belmont or Berkeley. And I was like, I'm going to go with Belmont just because it's closer. You get a little bit of everything in the city. You know, you have like big city, small town. And I also just love the music scene here. It's so collaborative. It's so supportive and encouraging. And like, everybody, like no matter how big you are in the industry, like wants to help each other.
Oh, for sure.
Which I love.
That's such a good energy. Do you feel like there are any glaring differences between the two music scenes?
Yeah, because we talked about here in Memphis.
Yeah.
Memphis is a really cool place. It's a really cool place. And I grew up obviously like in the music there. My brother's a musician, my dad's a musician. So I would go to their shows, have my own shows that I did. I just feel like there's a lot more like venues and performance opportunities here, and more I guess instrumentalists to collaborate with. I know there's a lot in Memphis too, but most of the people that I was working with when I was there were like 20 years older, which is great. You know, love working with people that old, but I wanted to work with people that were a little bit like closer to my age and just like kind of understood the way that my mind worked.
Yeah. And approached music with kind of that same frame of mind too.
Exactly.
That's really cool. I'm so excited for people to go stream. So I was going to bring this up in a little bit, but you just recently dropped a single called Garden.
Yes.
And so I'm excited. So if you're listening, you got to stop the episode, go stream Garden, and come right back.
Yes, please.
Well, I love hearing about your hometown because as much as hometowns are, you know, they have influence over forming your music, forming your sound. Of course, other musicians have a part in that. And so a little bit ago, you mentioned JoJo.
Oh, yes.
Do you have like, who were some of your first musical influences? Like who inspired you to really pursue singing?
It honestly, okay, so it's silly. Because the first singer that I like fell in love with when I was like 4 was Patsy Cline. And
that's great.
I have never been like I enjoy all types of music, but I wasn't like a country singer. But I just heard her voice when I was like 4 on like an infomercial. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Like I just loved her tone. And I still do to this day. I'm like, I haven't heard a tone like that. So loved her. also was obsessed with like Aretha Franklin and JoJo. Those were my like big three. And then Celine Dion.
Dang.
Like and Rihanna, we would do like when Wii was a thing. You know, when Wii like first came out, there was an American Idol Wii game. And my friends and I would compete and there'd be rounds. And I would always go for like a Rihanna, a Celine Dion, a JoJo.
Yes.
Those were like my tops always.
Those are powerful women that you brought
up.
Powerhouses.
Yes.
That is cool. And it really does come through. Like you have this jazzy influence in your music that I can hear it.
Thank you.
I love it. So like, do you feel like your taste in music has changed since you moved to Nashville? The songs that you choose to sing, the way you write, do you feel like that has kind of changed?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just with like growing up, like when I first moved here, I was 18 and I'm like, I don't know her. I'm like, who was little 18-year-old Chan? Like, I think that's one of the best parts about going to a new city and living on your own for the first time is like, you finally get to like make opinions for yourself. And when you're around like diversity, you know, different people, you're introduced to so many different things that you'd never heard before. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I took from college was just being surrounded by all these different people and hearing their musical inspirations. And then like they would become mine as well.
As I mentioned before, you are a voice coach.
Yeah.
So you've handled kind of varying degrees of stage experience with your students. But can you give our aspiring musician listeners or really anyone who kind of has like a public speaking fear, can you give us any advice or kind of like pointers for stage presence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's always like I get nervous too. The biggest things that have helped me is like grounding exercises before I go on stage. So like if it's a really big show, like if I'm playing for like 10,000 people, you know, like I have to do some deep breathing before. And, you know, if I'm like giving somebody a lesson or, you know, helping somebody else out before they're going on stage, like I'll do it with them and I teach it to other people too. But I do like the breathe in for 4, hold, and then breathe out for 4 and then hold. Okay. And when you breathe out, you really just like let it all out. And I found that's the best thing. And also like, whatever you believe spiritually, like I always pray before too. And that just like brings me peace. Like to know that like, no matter what, like I just want to come here and like, be a light and like, do what I love and hope that it brings other people joy.
That's
you know?
Awesome. Yeah, definitely like center yourself and listen.
Yeah.
Before you speak. I love that. Before we wrap up today, can you let our listeners know where to connect with you, how to hear your music, where to see you?
Yeah, of course. So in Nashville, I don't have any live shows happening soon. Okay. I sing with another band though, called the Broomsticks. So we are playing a lot of different shows. Our next one will be at the East Room in December.
Yes.
But to stay up to date on my shows, you can go to chanmusic.org. That's my website, and I'll put everything there, or go to my Instagram at Chandler Boof. And those are the best ways to kind of stay up to date.
Again, go stream her latest single, Garden. Thank you all for listening to another episode of Jumper Cable Records podcast. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please don't forget to rate and review us so we can keep doing awesome interviews just like this. Thank you again for sitting with us. You all just heard from pop and R&B singer Chan. Check out her newest single, Garden, on Spotify and share it with your friends.